Gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen, another episode of FATTAL FACTOR. Welcome in, 8 o'clock right on the dot. I know there's Monday Night Football. A lot going on. I think any Monday Night Football game that's ending, I don't think we'll have a lot of late night Monday Night Football games. So I get, I'm up against Monday Night Football. I can't imagine the viewership's going to be crazy tonight. But nevertheless, we'll always keep tabs on what's going on with the game. Obviously, I'm not going to show the game because that would be a copyright infringement. I'd get my channel would get canceled in a second. But right now, Chargers are up 10-6. I'm sure everyone's got it on a secondary screen. About 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. Got a good show for you guys tonight. We're gonna have Matt Logan on, coach of Corona Centennial. He should be joining us any moment, anytime. I told him, Coach, take your time, whatever. They finished up practice, I think, 7:45, 7:30, something like that. So he should mosey on over, and we'll talk about what it took to beat the big, bad Mater Dei Monarchs. The dragon has been slain, 21-game winning streak, and the last time Mater Dei had been beat by a team not named St. John Bosco, it was Corona Centennial in 2015. The quarterback, Anthony Catalano, as we all know, friend of the show, Catman, and his younger brother, Dominic Catalano, was the quarterback on Friday. So pretty cool stuff. You can't really make that stuff up, in my opinion. It'd be one of those things where even if you scripted it in some corny movie, you'd be like, that never happens. Well, it happened here in Southern California. So the Centennial Huskies are playing good football, man, playing good football. A couple of things we're going to get to tonight. Obviously, we all know Millikan football got hit with some more ineligible Bylaw 202. I believe it was 8 more students. And you know what, guys? I'll tell you right now, my sources are telling me there's more schools. Eric Sonheimer tweeted it today, and he's right. There's more schools that are going to feel the wrath of all this. And there's a little bit of insight I can provide, not a whole lot. There's a story I'm working on. Why is the CIF cracking down so much? What's allowing them to find so much stuff? And so I can kind of shave the top of that issue a little bit. And then, we'll talk Millikan. We'll talk more ineligible. We'll talk about those kids being in Arizona. We got kids going to Arizona now. There's an exodus from Bishop Montgomery and Millikan. Maybe some other schools that are coming down the pike. Kids will get ineligible. Arizona seems to be the landing spot. And then I got a small update on Pat Lee, the president over at Bishop Montgomery. A small little teaser worth mentioning. Obviously, the president of Bishop Montgomery, who the money man claims knew, what was going on, pretty much put the money man to work in regard to ramping up football. They both deny, money man is not denying anything. Pat Lee, the president, denies knowing Brett Stay at all and having any of those conversations. So that's quite interesting. But I got an update on Pat Lee, and then we'll just look ahead a little bit. Listen, these next 2 weeks of high school football aren't that great, if I'm being honest. Either you got teams with a bye, or they're playing not so great competition, getting ready for league play in October. So it's either most teams are got a cupcake on the schedule, or, it's a bye week. So I think the games, there's not a full slate of great games these next couple weeks, but there are a couple good ones. For example, on Thursday night, Orange Lutheran plays Sierra Canyon. So without further ado, let me check if Coach Logan is in the mix here. Give me a few seconds. He is. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So let's do this. I'm going to bring on, here we go. Bear with me here. We got, I'm going to do, Aram, I'm going to put you on collab cam. Okay, we'll do this. Stand by here, ladies and gents. No, you're good there. And then Sean's, I think we're good. Stand by here. I think we got him. Okay, let's transition in. Here it is. They're live. Coach Matt Logan, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Fantastic. Aram, can you hear Coach Logan?
Yeah, hear you both.
We can all hear each other. Coach, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. Obviously, a big weekend. We'll get into that in a second. But this is the FATTAL Factor. We're live every Monday night, 8 o'clock. And we've gotten a nice little viewership every week. And it's building. This is only episode 6, but the channel's growing. And we've had a couple news-breaking interviews. I'm sure you know a little bit about it. But it's been a lot of fun. And so thank you for joining us after such a big win.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Aram, I think I always want to give you the floor a little bit here. Anything off the top you want to get to, and then we'll talk to Coach about what it took to take down the Monarchs.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say welcome to Coach Logan and thank you. Thanks for the win on Friday night. I'm sure there's a lot of people in Southern California that feel the same way. So yeah, thank you on behalf of them.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It was a fun game.
Before we get into the Huskies, I wanted to show something real quick, if you don't mind, just to kind of loosen it up a little bit. It's relevant to what happened today, at least in news for Tarek, FATTAL in Southern California in high school sports. So I wanted to show Coach a little something here real quick. I think everyone will get a kick out of it. Coach, give me 1 second. You should be
Tarek,
yeah.
Just real quick, I think you have our names mixed up. You have me as Matt Logan.
Oh, okay, let me change it. Yeah,
as Aram
I do. Hold on. Let me change it. I think
little housekeeping here.
Yeah, a little housekeeping. This shouldn't be. Let me see. Let's see if that changed it.
Meanwhile, everyone, very tough beat if you bet the Texans tonight. Baker Mayfield leads Tampa Bay back. Scores very, very late. I think 6 seconds left in the game. And, yeah.
Sorry,
tough
give me
beat
a
if you bet
second
the
here.
Texans.
Okay. I think oh man. Now I'm all discombobulated. Hold on.
LA Chargers are beating the Raiders. Please comment in the chat. I know all of you are watching the game. I love to hear people's takes during the game.
Here, I got a better idea. We're gonna do this. Stand by with me, guys. Sorry about this. We got to get your name right, Coach. You're up. You're there, but you're in the wrong box, and that's my fault. Stand by here. I think okay. Stand by, guys. I'm sorry. This now we're getting into the nitty gritty here. I'm sorry. Give me a second here.
Coach, you got any guys in the NFL right now? I know you do. About how many?
Yeah, I think we have 4 currently playing right now. We have 2 kids with the Indianapolis Colts. We got Cameron Bynum and Segun Alube. And then we have J.J. Taylor with the Texans and then Tanner McKee with the Eagles.
That's not bad.
And we got Drake Jackson looking for a home, trying to get healthy and find a team to play for.
Yeah, McKee, he made the Eagles, huh? That's pretty good.
Yeah, he had a good spring. He messed up his thumb. So he's out for a little bit right now, but
okay. Yeah, not bad.
Sorry. Okay, we're adjusted. We're fixed here. Okay, Coach, I'm gonna ask you one more thing. So apologies for the embarrassment, but that's more on me. It has nothing to do with you. Okay, Coach, you should see here on your screen. I hope. Do you see a YouTube video of a basketball player?
I do.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to show a couple highlights here real quick. And then trust me, this is going somewhere. I promise. Like 20 seconds.
Oh.
A little bit of confidence, talking to the camera. Some coaches have their opinions on that kind of stuff. In transition, he's 6'8", 245 pounds. Okay.
Oh, he does not look that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and okay, one more highlight here. Okay, a little bit of contact, gets fired up. Okay, Coach, that is #1 player in the country, Tyron Stokes, out of Notre Dame Sherman Oaks. Today, he decided to throw on some football pads. He decided, as a senior, I'm only going to get a chance to play football. You know, this kid's probably going to be a lottery pick, Coach, in the next 2 years, okay? So he decides he wants to go play high school football. He talks to the team about it, comes about it earnestly. Like, hey, guys, I know the season's going on. By the way, the reason he didn't start football in the summer or leading into the fall, the guy was playing FIBA, like U19, like FIBA world stuff, trying to win a gold medal for USA. Yeah. So he had a decent excuse, but he decides he wants to come out. And the players are like all about it. And so I wanted to show you what he looked like in pads. And then I actually wanted to ask you, hey, Corona Centennial, known for having a great football program and basketball program. And I wanted you to kind of touch on this. But this is what he looked like today in pads. Now, granted, this is day one. Day one, he looks like a basketball player in pads. But they've got a bye week, so he's going to get 10 padded practices in. and 6'8", 245. So as a football coach and someone that loves athletics and has been around young people for a long time, I bring up someone like that. Have you ever had someone of that status come out for football? Anything like that you'd want to? I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, that's awesome. I try to keep Coach Giles guys out here all the time because he's always got 6'6", 6'8" guys. I can tell him we wanted to hit him in practice. Let's be on a goal line team for us. He'll just stand out there as a wide receiver. Let's throw the ball up and let him go get it. I mean, what a weapon.
And generally, Coach Giles is what are those conversations like? Because I'm being told that the basketball coach at Notre Dame and the football coach are completely fine with this. But what's the truth, Coach?
Yeah, Giles is good with it too. It's tough with those schedules because they're like you mentioned. June is a kind of a time off for us, and that's our dead period because they're off, doing all those tournaments and stuff like that, around the world, so around the country at least. And then so the schedule becomes a little bit tough, especially towards the end of the season when it really matters for football. But we're all for it. We love it. We have usually a couple of lower level kids will do that. Freshmen or sophomores will do that. We'll play both, but it hasn't been that much lately because we're such a high level. But I would love to have, Jared McCain out there playing some football.
Last ad. I'm asking the coach, and I'm curious look, this kid's obviously got a basketball future. Are there things as a coach, once he has the ball, there's not a whole lot you can do, right, if he's going to get tackled. But now everyone's thinking, no, don't do it. You'll get hurt. As a coach, I mean, are there any ways you can mitigate, lower the risk for him at all? Or how do you even think about that when you're playing football?
You can control that in practice, but you can't control that in games, obviously. And so that would be the tough part. But I always look at things, and I'm a little bit more old school. But if you get in a car accident too, I mean, God forbid, it doesn't happen. You get hit walking down the street by a car, you get a bike accident, whatever. There's all kinds of things that can happen. So I've never been one to worry about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's just kind of life, isn't it? All right, let's get to what everyone wanted to know. Aram's already bored. Let's get to the football. I thought that happened today. It seemed relevant. Centennial basketball, football school. I just thought it'd be worth mentioning. I'm gonna roll some of these highlights as we're talking about the game. But I think just now that maybe the dust has settled and clearly you're on to another opponent in another week of football. But reflecting back, what a huge win for your program. I know you've done it before, but something about this one just felt so special.
It was a great team win. We have, kids a lot of kids contribute in a lot of different ways, and we have 3 kids play both ways. Boogie Williams played DB, plays on special teams, and played a lot of receiver. Ben Tomafuna played O-line full time, or played D-line full time, played 60% of the snaps on offensive line as well. And then we have Keawe Brown, who played mostly on offense, but played a ton on defense as well, and blocked the PAT. He snaps for the special teams. It's just great to see, kids that are playing both ways, and one of our kids as well, Jaden Walker, who was one of the made some really big plays. He plays center field for the baseball team. It's just nice to see kids that are unselfish and willing to play football for the love of the game and the team.
Aram?
Yeah, Coach. You guys have played this team tough in some very big-time years for them, and some years that maybe weren't up to standard for yourselves. How is it that you guys have always been able to hang with them, or so many times when people didn't expect it, like Friday night, at least a win? How is it that you've always kind of been able to hang with this team, and why is it that you guys aren't intimidated by them?
Well, I mean, we play each other every year, basically. So, we see them every year, and so there's no intimidation factor on our part. We want to come out and play as hard as we can, regardless of who we're playing. But what they bring to the table, is a little bit different caliber of football, and so it just makes us better, regardless of the win or loss, and it makes us a better team. And it's been a while, but it felt good to do it. But I know it's at the same time, it's only week 3, so there's going to be a lot of football left, and who knows, we might end up seeing each other again. But we're on the schedule to play each other again next year. But if we see each other again this year, we hope to do it again. But we're going to come out and prepare and be ready for the next opponent like we do every week.
What were you thinking when they went on that 29-0 run in the third quarter? I mean, that's pretty phenomenal for a team to be able to do that.
Yeah, and it's not surprising either. We talked about it at halftime, like, hey, we just got to come out and keep playing our game, and we played pretty flawless on offense the first half. Had a little mix up with time management, and that's my fault at the end of the half, so maybe cost us 3 points. But some things we could have done differently in that, but pretty well, on both sides of the ball, played really well. And then come out in the third quarter in particular, and just did not play well. We fumbled, we threw a pick, we blew some coverages on offense, made some easy scores for them. But the good thing is the kids never gave up, they never wavered, and they rallied and fought till the end, and we had the opportunity to win it, and we closed it out. It was great.
Coach, I think everyone's out there, okay, well, it took 6 turnovers or 7 turnovers, however many turnovers Mater Dei had, that's what it took to beat them. I feel like that's taking away from you guys. Was there any emphasis on watching film and going, hey, these guys, they carry the ball loosely, or that's something we can capitalize on, or that's just the way the football game went?
There's unforced errors and there's forced errors, and that's what you got to look at, I think. For example, when a quarterback messes up a handoff to the running back, that's an unforced error, and we do plenty of those. Trust me, we do it, and we have a tendency to do it against them. So it's kind of nice for them to kind of maybe return some of that to us. But we did force a lot of errors. I mean, we had 6 sacks, we had 7. There was, I think, 6 turnovers, and a lot of those were because we hit the quarterback, pressure, the ball pops in the air, and someone picks it. And guys made great plays. Like those you can't take away. The ones that maybe they lay on the ground or whatever like that, which there was 1 or 2 of those, but either way, we did the same thing on our side. We missed the handoff between running back and quarterback and fumbled the ball to them deep in our territory. We threw a pick at midfield late in the game. Both of those were happened to be in the third quarter, of course, and those hurt us. So there's those on both sides. But yeah, it did take turnover, and that's usually how games are won or lost. More of them are lost than won, in fact. So, but that's part of it.
I did want to ask. I know. Okay, so for the longest time, Bruce Rollinson. I always, people always say it both ways. And then there was McManus for a year, and then now Lara. Despite a few coaching changes as of late, and under one head coach for a long time, similar to you at Centennial. Despite any coaching changes, do you always feel like some opponents just bring a certain type of ball you can be prepared for? Is there any of that you can always, to Aram's point, you always give them a tough game? Is that because you always know Mater Dei is going to play like X, or not necessarily?
Yeah, there's some to that, some truth to that for sure. And I think for them, just from the athletic standpoint, what they bring to the table. I mean, that's a college team. All those kids are going to be going to college and playing football, and our kids, that's not the case for every one of our starters. When we get our players, they'll let me, we get our good share of good players, but they'll let me downplay it all. But those are all college kids, the whole starting lineup, and guys that are backups got scholarships. So, we know what we're up against, but it still bodes well that a team that does not have college athletes can still compete with those. And I think we've always felt that way, and we always will feel that way. We always have a chance coming in. You never know what's going to happen unless that ball's kicked off.
Yeah, Coach, on Friday night, I made a joke in our spaces about how a lot of the Mater Dei kids didn't need to go back to Santa Ana. They just hopped on their bikes and rode home because of, the notion that Mater Dei gets a lot of talent from the Corona area. Now, I don't have the exact numbers this season, but can you talk about that dynamic, Coach? It's kind of been out there that you guys, for some reason, lose kids to them. Again, I don't have the numbers through the years, but that is the thought, that you guys lose kids to them. And it blows my mind because you're talking about the top for free public school program in SoCal. Why would anyone want to leave the area to go to Mater Dei? I get it. They're number 1 in the country going into last week, but yeah, that dynamic. Can you talk about that?
Out of state 3 or 4 times a year and things like that. And we're just going to come here, work our tails off, play football, and play as a family, and love each other, and compete. And we've been able to do that. And I know it is tough. And I don't understand why kids would want to sit in traffic and get home late and all the things that does that. So whatever they do to attract them, they still do that. But we're gonna get a few and get enough to win, not to beat them, obviously, to prove that.
Have you known a lot of them, Coach, like kind of coming up, like, we all hear things about this kid's going to be a stud when he gets to high school, or this group is going to be that. And then as they're approaching high school, or when they should be kind of starting at Centennial, they end up going somewhere else. As you know, has that been like a disappointment for you in the past?
Not really, because we want kids that want to come here. We want kids that want to come here and compete. I mean, bottom line. If the kid, I always think if the kid's thinking about leaving, he's already left. He's not giving you what he can, and that's how we survive here. We'll play with a 5'6" tailback with a 5'9" quarterback. You don't have to be a 6'5" All-American to play quarterback here.
Coach, the Catalano aspect of it, that's a fun storyline, and I think it's like something out of a movie that you would think, oh, that would never happen. And so just Anthony, I spoke to Dominic over the weekend after the game. He's like, man, I was the ball boy when I was like 8-9 years old. Coach Logan's like, it's like my uncle, man. I've known him my whole life. And you know what he said to me, which I thought was really cool. He said after the game, he said, I told Coach I loved him, and he said he was proud of me. And he said, and he just said that meant a lot to him. So to see someone really grow up in the program and then be part of the program and then slay the dragon must have been pretty cool for you.
Very cool. And J.D. McKinley, same thing.
Yes.
Javon McKinley was a teammate with Anthony and really good friends and hung out together. So we've seen these kids, I mean, it's crazy to see them because both of those kids, and I don't mind saying it, they were kind of like little chubby kids. It was really funny. And to see what they've turned into now, completely different, it's body types. And you would have thought they were going to be O-linemen when they were, 9 years old. But so it's great to see them. It's good. We love the legacy kids. We get a lot of that. We've got Tom Lafuna's a legacy kid as well for us. And so there's a lot of kids on our team that have had brothers that play for us. And so it's great to have that. We love it when we get those second and third generations.
When you knock off a team like Mater Dei, do you feel the high school football community behind you? There's got to be a feel for that, because I don't know if it's necessary. Look, I think anybody in sports, pro, college, it's like, I don't know, a lot of fans, not everybody, a lot of fans don't like to see someone winning like all the time, right? We always want to see someone at the top, and then everyone wants to see them get knocked down. And Mater Dei and Bosco have been at the top for so long. So you go into a game like this and you're up 28-0. I mean, you had to have felt like you were maybe doing it for high school football in Southern California, or maybe you were just doing it for the Huskies.
Yeah, at the time of the game, you just concentrate on the next. For me, as a play caller and offensive coach, what's the next play caller, or how can I manage this block to help us win? What can I do? And then, like when Aram asked me about what we're thinking in the third quarter, I was like, hey, we got to get this first down too. We got to put some points on the board. We got to answer. We got to make this spread a little bigger. So I think I didn't really realize that. I don't think until afterwards when I just got inundated by. I mean, I probably received over 250 texts from coaches and people from a lot of former players, just coaches around the country, and I think everybody loves a Rocky type story. And I think that we're kind of that right now. I mean, again, we got to keep it all in perspective. It's week 3, and it was a great win. It was an awesome game. I think it was just a great high school game for people to watch. Like a lot of people, and friends of mine, just people that were there, just said what a great game it was to watch, and how much they enjoyed that at the top level, and people just really getting after it and playing hard and those things. So I think that makes me obviously makes you feel good. But we're happy we came out on top, and like I said, it doesn't really mean a ton in the big picture, but we'll take it for now. We'll get ready for the next one, like we did today.
Coach, the private school and public school inequity that's developed here in SoCal, as a guy that I think you've been offered every Trinity League job, and you're still at Centennial. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. What are your thoughts over the developments of the last 10 to 15 years? And like I said, the inequity that's come about between private and public schools, with Bosco and Mater Dei just kind of taking over. And there's a lot of reasons behind it. And why have you shunned going to one of these Trinity schools? They had to throw pretty good cash at you.
For me personally, it just wasn't the right situation. This is the right situation for me, and I'll finish my career here. If I do, when I do retire, which will, at some point in time, I'll probably take a year off and then maybe go coach, maybe like junior college or something like that. But for me, at least in my eyes right now, there's nothing else for me. This is where I'm supposed to be. And And I love it here. I grew up in this community, and the school didn't exist when I went to high school at Marco, but I came here only a few years after it had already been opened, and it's this community has been great to me. It's been great to my family, and it's just I don't know why leave. There's no reason to leave. If we can be competitive and do the things, and yeah, the gap has changed, and I think it's changed in public schools too. I mean, I kind of feel like there's no medium teams anymore. You're either good or you're not good. It's just it's very there's a line that cuts it, and so I think that that's been tough to deal with, and kids are let's face it, kids have opportunities, maybe NIL stuff down the road that they can take advantage of that were not available, even 5 years ago, so that probably enters their mind on certain things and things like that, and we don't have that as a public school. We just, again, we can promise you that you can come here, work hard, get coached hard, get a good academic, career going. We've got over 32 languages spoken here. We've got a lot going on. We've got clubs. We're a top achieving academic school. So we've got a lot of things to offer ourselves, and let alone, from a sports standpoint, really good football, really good basketball, and other sports as well. We did good at girls water polo, and we're really good at wrestling for a long time, still are, and baseball teams up and coming. We got we got a lot of good things going on here, and an administration that cares about kids, and that's important.
Am I right about that, though? I mean, that you've been offered the head job at I think every Trinity school besides Bosco?
There's probably all of them, but two, I think, because I'm running them through my head. But or got to maybe got to the point where it wasn't going to be the fit, so maybe never got to that point. But yeah, I have talked to a few of them, and most of those people are good people, and I'm trying to do for the right things as well. But it's not what's for me.
Coach, I got a couple more, and then we'll let you mosey on out of here. I'll let Aram have his last questions too. But I got to ask you about the controversial play at the end of the game. I'm going to roll it here. For those that don't know, I'm sure most do. But Ryan Hopkins throws up this ball. I'm going to pause it, and it's really point of top of the ball. Highest point, and man, there is just a 50-50 game on the line, play to make right here, win or lose type play. And if I remember listening to the broadcast correctly, it appeared everyone thought, okay, offense has the ball. Actually, this ref comes in and he points. I mean, there it is right there, actually. He points, yeah, this is a first down. And then someone else comes in and goes, no, we're going to talk about it, and it's going to be an interception. So, what was going through your mind? Did you have a good angle on it? I'm sure you've seen 1,000 of them on video since. Just your thoughts on that play.
Yeah, I think maybe if the back judge who made that call, he was behind it. So that was, I think maybe if they would have conferred that he wouldn't have done that, maybe it wouldn't be as controversial. But there's multiple. It's funny, all the media people come up and show me multiple pictures of that ball in the belly of our player.
Okay.
And the Mater Dei receiver reach it over. So we clearly had it, and this was before he even hit the ground.
Gotcha.
So it definitely was an interception, and I mean, that's the way they call it, so that's the way it is, really. It could be whatever, it could be whatever, but that's what we saw, and that's what we confirmed with pictures and different things. So, but that's the way they ruled it either way, so it doesn't matter. It's not going to change.
Exactly. I was just going to say, it almost doesn't matter. The ruling went in your favor there. And really just the last one for me is, okay, you've mentioned it now, I think at least twice during this interview, is, okay, it is an early season win, and it's fun, and there's nothing wrong with being excited for a victory. But such an emotional high, and now you got to get these boys, and literally boys, 16, 17 years old, to settle down, because there's so much more football to play. I talked to Dominic over the weekend, and we both agreed. He just said, man, we can't let this be the pinnacle of our season. Though, if it was, it's not a bad one to have. So, you've been around a long time. How do you try and get these guys to really put this one in the rearview mirror, though it's going to get talked about for the rest of the season?
For sure, and our approach is the same every week. We focus on ourselves. We focus on who getting better. Our opponent is really nameless and faceless, and that's how we have to look at it. We got to look at this game and there's a lot of clips where we made mistakes. Did a lot of good things too, but a lot of things where we made mistakes and felt like we left opportunities on the field, and that's where we got to get better at it. And there's so many ways to grow, and that's one of the best things about playing a team of that caliber is that's what you find out. If you play a team that half your starters are out halfway through the second half, or you don't get as much out of it, and so. This is it's nice because we actually won, so you win a game, and you're still learning. So, just look ways off things. It's always about ourselves, about how do we get better, what can we improve on. Some things there, like I look at some of the clips and I see, a lot of celebrating going on the field. Like that's all part of learning. You got coaches on the field, you got to stay back. The kids got to understand they can't run on the field or do things, and just little stuff like that matter. Like Dom right there taking a knee a little early, he could have waited a couple more seconds before he took that knee. Won't make it so easy for the refs to run that clock. So there's just things like that you learn, through these experiences.
Coach, there was another controversial play in the game that I wanted to get your thoughts on. That's kind of made the rounds, and I'm sure you've seen it, and a lot of people have opinion on it. They're arguably their best defensive player. We won't name names here. Stomped on one of your linemen at the end of a play on his leg, and I think your lineman had to leave the game because of it. I'm sure you've seen it. What are your thoughts on that? And I've also heard from a lot of people that were very disappointed by Mater Dei's actions, during warm-ups and whatnot. I don't know if you have any thoughts on those two things.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that both of those things happened that you're mentioning too. And I know there are kids like Tarek just mentioned. These are 14, 15, 16-year-old kids, and they sometimes it's hard for them to control their emotions, and I hope that's the case with them. I hope that that he's learned from it, and our player isn't seriously injured from it. But hopefully he learns how to keep his emotions in check, and that everybody can learn from it, not just him. And especially in a situation too, it was a pretty pivotal part of the game, and it cost his team. They had a sack. Yeah.
They did. Okay.
He got a flag. He got. It was a sack on the play, and it was going to be a third down long situation for us. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was on our last drive, our game-winning drive. So it might have been a little bit before that, but it was on a pivotal time in the game, and so it cost the team. And that to me would hurt. I think would be more damaging to the kid than anything else. That hey, I let my team down in that scenario because I let my emotions get the best of me. Whatever the case may be, and I think there's so much, unfortunately, with social media. I'm not a fan of all that stuff, but I think kids are so much, and talking about maybe some of the pregame stuff. They're so, they get so excited, get so worked up on that stuff, and it's like it's okay to do that stuff, but it's not okay to do that. It's not okay to talk to adults or other kids the way that half these kids do that. We're guilty of it too. I'm not saying we're not, but at the same time, if somebody's yelling and screaming at you and you're a high school kid, it's pretty hard for high school kids to turn around and walk away from that. I think people are going to respond, and that, but it's the ones that you got to be able to, take it for what it's worth and the value that it is, and it's no value, and that you got to keep your emotions in check, And some of it's for fun, some of it fires up the team, some of it fires up the actual individual, but it goes too far, I think, and we if we see it, we try to nip that in the bud here. We don't allow that. We don't want that. There's sometimes where it's good to get you guys emotional, but not when it gets to the point when you're, really, really picking on it. And really, I guess you don't use the word bullying of other kids. It just becomes too much.
Yeah, for those that want to see it, Tarek has the video up there. Chris Coach Four had zoomed in. So people that haven't seen it, you can see it. Again, not naming names, but the Mater Dei kid clearly stomps on the Centennial kid, sort of a cheap play there. Coach, my theory on this, and I would like your thoughts on this as well, is things like this, things like the hoot and hollering before games and just the unsportsmanlike stuff that's kind of made its way even further into the game than what used to be, comes from the 7-on culture, from the things these kids are doing with guys that really aren't coaches, really don't live up to coach standards in the off season by being part of 7-on and sort of traveling around and showboating and all that stuff. What are your thoughts on that and that layer that's kind of come into the game certainly way stronger than when you first started, I would say.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, we're disciplining kids tonight for things that we saw that they did during the game, or if they didn't have the right color shirt underneath that they're supposed to wear during the game, stuff like that. We want every little uniform, and we're a team. This is a team sport. It's the ultimate team sport. But I do agree that there is a lot in society that allows this stuff to go on, and it's like good, it's good, to get clicks and whatever else they're looking for on their social media, stuff like that. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, it's not in the name or the game of sport, and it has, it brings no value, and it's horrible. And I do agree that we all as adults should be more, as a leader, and take a bigger part of that, and teaching kids that is not how you go. You don't go into work, in a job, can you imagine going to a lawyer's office and saying what these guys do or do what these guys do, and if they close the case or win the case or say something to a colleague in there? I mean, jeez. So it's just there's no good in it. There's no value in it. It's just ridiculous. They look like fools, and like a kid scores a touchdown. Like, as far as I'm concerned, you're supposed to score a touchdown. What are you dancing for? Go congratulate you with your teammates. Go, if the defensive end knocked the ball at the quarterback's hand and popped into your hands, go thank that kid. Celebrate with him. Celebrate with your teammates. If the lineman made a great block for you to get in the end zone, go celebrate with him. If the receiver makes a great one-handed catch and it gets on ESPN, go celebrate with him. Don't talk crap to the other team. It's ridiculous. And enjoy the play. Not to demean somebody else.
Coach, my last question, Tarek, if you don't mind. Sorry, I know this is 3. Did you see our interview with the Bishop Montgomery money man, and or any part of it? And do you have any thoughts on sort of what happened there and this whole, pay for play thing that he alleges is going on in other places, not just, where he's been?
Yeah, I mean, it is probably going on, and I did see parts of it. I didn't see the whole thing. I probably didn't combine with all the parts, but it's pretty amazing that it goes on. I just kind of like, what always trips me out is like, what's the end game? It's not like you're getting millions of dollars and you go to a bowl game. Like,
right.
All right, so you win a CF championship and you pay for it. I mean, is that really what we're here for? We're here to teach kids how to be men and how to, proper ways to behave in society, and all the stuff we're talking about it doesn't work that way. At least not in my world. I'm not in the business world. Maybe it's different, but we don't go out. It's ridiculous. It's not reality. It's unfortunate, and I think when in a situation in that case too. I mean, I think there's now 3 schools at least that have been hurt by that. Yeah. And kids' careers are high school career. Which is for fun. Going out to play football for fun, their high school career is over because of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Aaron,
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Aaron, just final things before I let Coach be on his way.
No, just, congratulations again, and thank you for coming on. Like I said, I think there's a lot of people that are not affiliated with Corona Centennial at all, or fans of them, that were very pleased with what happened on Friday night, and no matter how you feel about the situation, it's great that it looks like Division I is a more open type thing this year, not the open and shut case that it has been in recent years.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see some other teams in it, especially the Centennial.
Yeah. Coach, we appreciate you coming in. There's a bunch of people in the chat. Hey, let's get W's in the chat for Coach. Coach Matt Logan, thank you for joining us. The Huskies. Coach, who do you got this week?
We play
Rancho Cucamonga. So Rancho Cucamonga, is that a Friday game? Or I know sometimes you get it's a Thursday games every so often, right? But that's not
right.
Late, maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It was a Thursday game. We got moved to a Friday game.
There we go. He's got Rancho Cucamonga coming up. Coach, he took down Mater Dei. The Huskies get another victory and move up in every ranking in the country. Coach, congratulations on the win. Thanks for coming on. We'll send you on your way, and thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate what you do for high school sports.
Thank you, sir.
All right, bro, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
Before I bring Aram on, I need to... what I did, if for those that don't know, and Aram, I know you can hear me, So when Coach came on and I had their name tags switched up, in Aram's Ask Aram like scene for the stream, it's Coach Logan. So I need to get Aram. I need to get Aram in his appropriate window here. But I think now's a good time to talk a little bit about what's going on over at Millikan. So let me get Aram back up where he should be here, and then we'll be well on our way. Here we go. Hang on, Aram. Sorry, buddy. Should be good now. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. I got him. Here we go. Stand by. Listen, I don't have a crew, right? I don't have like some producers. I don't have a booth, that people are clicking around, and you got to do all this stuff on your own. So bear with me here. Let's see. Bang. Okay, here we go. There he is. Okay, Aram, there you are. You can give me a quick mic check.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
here.
we're good. Okay.
Call me Bylaw 202 for the rest of the show, please.
I think you are Bylaw 202 still. Let me. I'm having a hard time. Do you see it?
I'll tell you in a second.
Yeah, hold on. I need to. Yes, you are. Okay, there we go. Yeah. You're good. You're good there.
I hope people respect that. I hope you guys like that, man. That was Tarek's idea.
That's a little wrinkle that we've got. If you notice, he changes his name every week, and then
Aram Montgomery, Bylaw 202, Aram bro. Yeah,
we make it as relevant as we can. But
Millikan, bro, get at me.
Yeah, man, 8 players do eligible. Yeah, we kind of knew it was coming down the pike. I had heard Pennell was off to Arizona, I think you did too, Aram. We're talking, I don't know, a week, 10 days ago. And so I was trying to confirm it. And I had some sources telling me he was at Saguaro. I even DM'd the Saguaro coach today. He didn't get back to me, and it eventually got out there, and that's where he was, and that's fine. Someone else kind of really, broke the story. Some young kid in Arizona. That's great. Good for him. So yeah, but that's one landing place. We got some Bishop Montgomery kids that have landed at, I believe, Mesa High School in Arizona. So some landing spots for these young kids, and that's because what's happening right now is more ineligibilities are coming to surface, and not just ineligible, but Bylaw 202s, where there's falsifying information, and man, it is getting uglier out there. So not good.
Yeah, not good at all. But Tarek, it's another sign that that CIF isn't fooling, man. They are really, really cracking down on this and taking care of business. I see some people here in the chat are saying that I'm echoing as well as Coach Logan was echoing. I don't know.
I don't know if it's an echo as much as it just sounds a little different. I think we'd know. If it was bad, I'd be getting text messages about it. Trust me. I just think it just sounds a little different.
See, Freddie's saying just Coach Logan was echoing, and now Coach Agnew's saying that it's just me echoing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're good, because I'm not. I think we're good on my side, because I'm looking at the levels. So it could just, again, we're getting mixed reports. But I think if it was unwatchable, we wouldn't have as many viewers as we do right now. I think people would be getting the hell out of Dodge. So that's always an indicator too. But I will say, see, someone's even saying the echo isn't horrible, because I don't even think it's an echo. I think it's more of a, Harry Daniels, like a reverb. You're right. Like again, it just sounds more like you're speaking in like a hallway. Does that make sense?
Part of that could be my room here, bro, because I don't know. When I have my door shut,
it could be because. I mean, I don't know. I haven't changed any of the settings since we had, how clean was the interview with Brett Stay? Clean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't changed any settings, so it could be a couple different things. It could be the way someone's listening to it. I think it's, again, someone's already saying it's not even that bad, so it could just be more of a sound thing. I don't think there's actually an echo. Aram. It's not like that. It's a little more sounding like we're in a hallway a little bit, which happens from time to time. That's just life, and that's just the internet sometimes. I'm not operating at CBS Studios, ladies and gents. I'm here in I'm here in Chatsworth in my man cave.
Corn country, baby.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah, not good news for Millikan. I think there's a couple other programs that could be in trouble, and I tell you what, I want to share, and Aram, some of these details that I'm working on, so I want to be very surface level, but there are, and I don't think this is actually brand new news. I think people that are in the know a little bit of this, but not to the extent that which I'm trying to get to the nitty gritty on, that I won't be able to share today. However, I do think that there are some technologies at play that the CIF is using to verify details within a transfer, and it's flagging other elements of athletes or transfers or moves, and that is helping them identify more inconsistencies when a transfer happens. And that's why you're seeing them happen in bulk, because either all of them have a commonality, which is a red flag, right? You know what I'm saying? So, or there's been information reused in the past at that school. So it's like, wait a minute, how can X family be living there when the last paperwork we got, Y family was living there, and we don't have what happened, So they bring up these questions and there's no answers. So that's why you get these kids that are deemed ineligible. So the CIF has gotten smarter with some of their technology, and I'll leave it at that. And I think that's what's almost scaring programs and families. I would be shocked, Aram, if the transfer numbers were not lower next year. Just because this might be scaring people. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's a deterrent. I hope people are seeing that, you're playing with fire here. Tarek just kind of alluded to it. CIF isn't just doing it the way they kind of did it past several years. I'll let Tarek's reporting, take it from there in the next, several days or weeks. But you'll be surprised, I think. And they're being very proactive, and they're taking other measures. I think it's social media, Tarek, that's kind of spurring this, because even though the people at Bishop Montgomery want to say, hey, we didn't know there was a money man here, we didn't know anything weird was happening. The fact is that since spring, it was all on social media that, oh my God, watch out for Bishop Montgomery, man. They got XYZ in, the money man's there, they're getting kids in. Same thing to a lesser degree at Millikan. Now, my question is, you've seen the Shakespearean tragedy play out at Bishop Montgomery, where we're toward the end of the play now, and the actors are dying off, and in this case, they're getting fired or forced out or resigning. The kids have lost their season. It's tragedy all around. Now you're seeing that start at Millikan. The word is, Tarek, and you've been just phenomenally reporting on all this stuff. So congrats on that for the last a month or so.
I was gonna say, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
You've been crushing it, dude. The best in SoCal at this, and there may be more fallout. Is Coach Pelham safe?
Yeah, I actually contacted. So before anybody else, if I'm not mistaken, I was the first one to get a quote from the spokesperson at Long Beach Unified School District. So I reached out. In fact, I'll even timestamp this bad boy. Stand by here.
Yeah, and these people don't like that, by the way. The district doesn't like to be contacted by reporters asking questions like this, nor does the archdiocese, nor does the high school. They really do not like the scrutiny, and then they start saying, hey, well, they already don't feel like football's worth it, most of these people. So, you think they're gonna get your back in the cover your own ass world? No way. Go ahead, Tarek.
No problem. This was at 12:14 today. Hi, so-and-so, Tarek Patel here. Hope you remember me, and this number is still active because I've messaged with this person. I have it under polycoms, just with some other stuff that I've dealt with that unified school district over the years. And I just put, there's some drama unfolding at Millikan High School football program, put in parentheses. If there is any release or announcement from the district regarding the football coach, can you please make sure I'm included on the email? Or, hi, Tarek, no problem. I have your email already on file. She goes, we will not put out an announcement, but we'll keep you posted if there are any changes. I said, thank you. I will check in from time to time if that's okay. That was at 12:14. At 2 o'clock, I got the following statement. It just says, please attribute the below to a Long Beach Unified spokesperson. Quote, Millikan High School acknowledges the recent CIF ruling regarding athletic eligibility within the football program. We take this matter very seriously and regret the impact it has on our students' families and community. The school has compiled with CIF directives, complied with CIF directives, including the forfeiture of games, and we are conducting a review of the transfer procedures at our site and within the Moore League to ensure compliance moving forward. While student employees matter are confidential, our commitment remains to support our students while upholding the integrity of our athletic programs. So I think there is something going on and something lurking. I don't want to assume that, that's another man's job. I'm not going to say he's going to get fired or anything, but I would imagine there's already precedent just in this season alone, right? Bishop Montgomery, undue influence. I guess we did find out there is undue influence with Brett Stay, but however, the first acknowledgement, all of it was falsifying information. Coach got fired. Here we are, Millikan. Now it's not 19, but it's 8. Bylaw 202, falsifying information. Does the coach get fired now? I don't know. So we will wait and see. But to me, and Aram, you've been doing this a long time, and you're not currently full-time now, but you know how it works. When spokespersons of entities are communicating with you, it's almost like, we'll let you know when something happens. You know what I mean? So there could be more coming.
They can't stand this stuff, dude. I mean, they really can't. I mean, they would rather, let me put it this way instead. If you think your school district would rather win CIF and football and have to answer questions like this and face scrutiny and all that stuff, or go 3-7 and miss the playoff, they're going to pick 3-7 and miss the playoffs every time. We played with what we got. Again, these are people that cover their own ass. That's how they got to their positions in life, career-wise. For the most part, they really only care about attendance numbers and test score numbers. I don't really think, and these people move up by saying, I also had if someone's going for an admin position or a school board position, I also had a CIF championship winning football program, and at my school or whatever. I just don't think it matters that much to them. It doesn't move them up, and it becomes a nuisance when it's like this. So, and I think it's great. I love this, man. I mean, bring it back to what it was. Stop this wild, crazy, this school's the one this year that's getting all the guys stuff like we saw at Millikan, we saw at Los Alamitos in recent years, we saw at Bishop Montgomery, St. Bernard, Narbonne, all that stuff. It's making people think twice, like you said, dude, and that's a good thing. What really bothers me, dude, just one more thing on this, is these guys that I've talked about, these street hustler, 7-on guru guys, thinking that they control high school football in SoCal, that they can steer the kids, the top kids, on where to go to high school. Like they are the power player. And you guys just F it up every time now. You're not smart enough to do this. Like, I'm sorry, but you're just not. You're not pulling it off, at least not anymore. At least not this season. It's only going to get worse. Wait for Tarek's reporting on that.
Yeah, I think some of the discussions I've been having with coaches, there's more of a, I think you will see the transfer rule change again here soon. I think what we're going to see, what's today? September 15th, 2025. I think what we're going to see is one free transfer. Everyone gets one free transfer in their career. No moving, no SOP. You do get one free transfer, and then after that, you have to move, or there's an SOP, or it's a year. There's something different after that, and I just think that even if that rule comes into play, you are really going to see people be more cautious about their transfer, because man, being sat for 2 years is harsh. It really, really is. And I do think I agree with Fred. Fred mentioned in here that he thinks you won't see transfer numbers go down, which I disagree with. But I do also agree with the notion. He said you might not see numbers go down, but he goes, you will see more kids taking the SOP. So, yep, that very well could be true.
Like intentionally taking it?
Yeah, I think, just instead of moving and trying to pull off a move with falsifying paperwork, just move and...
If you're a parent and you're cool with your kid missing half the regular season just to transfer somewhere, you're doing it wrong.
No, I mean, hey, let's not let that was I don't know, man. That's like a
come on. What are we talking about? Parents
out
saying that's a fair exchange?
No, I'm just saying every circumstance is different, and if you want to transfer schools to play sports, I think at the end of the day, there's no problem with that. The issue is to what extent will you move to play sports? And that's why I'm like, okay, moving sounds pretty extreme, but faking info that you're moving to play football is way out there. And then this is what happens when you get caught. So I think if you're really in a situation where you feel moving is the right move for you and your family, who are we to say yes or no on that you might just be willing to think about sitting out 6 games. And here's the truth. They might right now. I'm sure you know the rule. You get 1 SOP per your 4 years. So the new rules could be you get 1 free transfer and 1 SOP. You might not have to move. So I just think that there's so many different reasons to move. They're not all being moved because of 7-on-7 coaches and so on and so forth.
Yeah, but we do know that over 90-something% of these moves and stuff are athletically motivated.
Oh, that's for sure.
Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah,
and sit here and say,
I'm not. But you could. But something like I transferred in high school.
At the behest of your specialty coach?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just saying I don't like painting a broad brush over every high school kid that simply thinks, man, this school isn't for me. I'm going to go transfer somewhere else and compete at that school. So why does that kid have to be condemned for the kid that is being moved around by a handler?
I'm talking about the ones that are going to sit there and be persuaded by a handler to go to a school and do a sit-out period for half the season. I mean, it's comical. I don't see, I don't know why anyone would want to do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I get now. I see, like you're saying, sacrifice 6 games at the hand of a guy that's suggesting it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because he's getting an envelope somewhere along the way, or there's some shady promise in there.
That's a different story. I just think there are kids that show up as freshmen, and they really don't. They play freshman, whatever. They play sophomore, and then they think to themselves in the summer between their sophomore and junior year, they go, you know what? This isn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a different experience, and they transfer. And I think that's where the 1 free transfer is a good thing. Because the kid just wants another experience. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I hear what you're saying on kids really just kind of being used as a pawn in all of it, and people collecting money, and clearly we know now that there's money being exchanged for players. So it's an interesting world in the high school sports realm, but be on the lookout. I'm kind of working on something here the next week or two that I think will shed a lot of light on how the CIF is cracking down. Not why, but how they're able to crack down so much tighter. Aram?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. You told me a little about it. You now got to do your due diligence and get it out there when you can. I think people will really be really kind of have their eyes open here. I think it's very cool, anyways. And by the way, every time I'm looking up, that's just me looking up at the Chargers Raiders game, and it's kind of funny. Just slightly, it's like as that game becomes less competitive or the Chargers get further ahead,
our numbers are growing.
You guys should be in here no matter what. If there's a crazy comeback like there's been in the NFL this season, you want to be in the chat here, sharing it with people, like just saying, "Holy crap."
Love that Freddie's in here, man.
Yeah, Freddie, thank you, man. And by the way, this Canes cap. There we go.
So Pat Lee was the president at Bishop Montgomery throughout all this. The money man says that Pat Lee knew who he was and so on, and met with him, I think, in January or February to get things going for football. So that's a little update. So then everything falls apart. He resigns, I think, aka pretty much gets forced to resign, gets fired. So I reached out to him because I thought, man, the guy's got nothing to lose. Like, he lost his job. And he did respond. I thought it'd be great to get Pat Lee on this show and give him an opportunity to say his piece and so on and so forth. So he did respond. He declined to come on tonight, but we are in dialogue, and I just want to read what he texted me back. I do think this is like fair game to share. So this is what he said back to me. After I asked him, hey, just want to follow up. Are you coming on tonight? This was this morning. And he's politely declined. And he just said, at this time, I advise to pass. Hopefully soon, I'll be able to tell the whole truth. End quote. So I do feel like if I think he's got some counsel and some people in his corner advising him, maybe he signed an NDA from Bishop Montgomery or maybe he didn't. I don't know. But point is, and maybe he's still in the negotiation of whatever his severance was or whatever. Who knows? Point is I think it's possible that down the line he does come on to the show. So maybe he doesn't, but when he says something, hopefully soon I'll be able to tell the whole truth, that tells me he's interested in coming on. Don't you think, Aram?
Yes, I do. I mean, what's he going to do? Write a book? If you want, to get if you want to get your story out here and whatnot, come on the show. If there's questions we ask that you just can't or don't want to answer, just say I don't want to answer and leave it at that and say your piece. There's nothing wrong with that. And the reason, the reason why Pat Lee is interesting in this, of course, he was the president, just kind of, backfilling here, the situation for people that may not know. The money man, when he came on, alleged that Pat Lee and him met a couple times and that Pat Lee encouraged him to do his thing so that the football program would get good. Now, Pat Lee has said, I've never met this guy. That did not happen. So you have a sort of a conflict of stories here. Pick who you want to believe, but I think it's an interesting. I've thought about this. I think for private schools, if you have a kick-ass football program, I think it helps enrollment. I think it helps attendance. I think it helps draw eyes to the school. And so I'm not saying that's what Pat Lee was trying to do here, but I could understand if that was the case. Like, hey, we're going to grow Bishop Montgomery, turn it into a South Bay Bosco through the football program. I could see that. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, man, it's I'm hoping he comes on, man. That would be great for the show, and I think it would be well received, and why not give the guy a platform to share his side. So let's hope that's the case. Couple more things to get to. I'm just trying to think of anything else. I don't know if there's much else to get to other than we talked about Millikan. We're gonna find out what happens to these kids. I'm trying to figure out where they all land. Again, Ashton Pennell, the quarterback, is at Saguaro. We've got kids from Bishop Montgomery. They're at Mesa High School.
That's official, Tarek? That he's at Saguaro?
Yeah, he is. He's at Saguaro. And I even have a stand by. I
don't know if you remember in Spaces that one Friday night when they took that loss. They lost to Loyola. Do you remember that? When Millikan lost to Loyola, right?
Yeah, and then didn't the dad come on?
The dad came on, and the dad's a very cool guy, man. Military guy, very good guy. But the dad came on, but regardless, there were I don't know. I don't want to say rumors out of that game, but people kind of saying out of that game that Ashton was either injured or he was benched or there was something that happened there where he didn't play a large or a portion of that game. And I think that may have upset the family as well. Maybe not this CIF ineligible stuff, was not just the total sole reason to move to Saguaro. My question is, for the people out there in chat that are saying, some of these Montgomery kids have gone, or Millikan kids have gone to Mesa and Arizona. How'd you get there? How did that? I'm just curious. How did that become the place you picked, like the spot to land?
Right.
Who influenced that? I guess there's that word again.
Yeah, there's more powers that be, and I'm asking the same questions, like who's paying for that, who's helping, how are you getting direction?
And Freddie reported today too that a Bishop Montgomery guy, one of their top linemen, Carlos Flores, went to Millikan, and I see someone Rigo in here in chat, bringing that up. He got Bylaw 202 here, so why not still be at Bishop Montgomery, man? Playing for Corey Minor, playing for Chris Ricks, playing for Sheldon Price, playing with your boys that you established. Why not? All right, sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, it's I feel bad for the kids, man. And Fred's making fun of your hair. Did you see that?
Yeah, the magic shampoo.
Aram's
Look, dude, it's a war you cannot win, Fred. But yeah, I'm trying to fight it.
Magic shampoos. That's funny.
Yeah, magic shampoo, ladies and gentlemen, is hair dye.
It's just a little.
Yeah, so Freddie's bagging on my magic shampoo. And by the way, that's the one I recommend for this. Maybe they could sponsor the show. Simpler, ladies and gentlemen. Freddie, I think, likes the Just for Men. I don't even think he does it anymore. The Just for Men stuff is hell, man. That's like ammonia. But there's a brand out there called Simpler that's a lot less harsh and pretty good. It's a little more expensive pound per pound, but Simpler's been pretty good for me.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that we got an update on your hair. That's fantastic. 20-6 here. Chargers are up, but the Raiders are driving here. First and 10. Well, they're on their own, whatever it looks like, 28-yard line. But I don't know, Aram. I think we'll start to look a little bit ahead this week and just look at a couple key games and then start to wrap it up, man. I don't know, if you're laughing at something else. I will say I reached out to Mr. Pennell today, didn't get back to me. So I tried to confirm everything going on the right way, and it just didn't work out. And I don't know, man. I guess it's awkward, sensitive. I don't know what the word is, but I could understand why you wouldn't respond. But it's like, I don't know, man. I'm reaching out to help out. Where the kid is. Let's talk about it. What happened, no one, maybe they just don't want to talk about it, which is fine. Anything else, man?
No, Freddie with the big announcement that he's going to dye his hair again soon, so he's going to darken it back up.
We'll have to get Fred on. We'll have to get Fred on here one of these days.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
There is, there is kind of a big game. Did you guys already do previews for this week? No, it's only Monday. You guys do that when? Tomorrow?
No, we did it this morning.
Did you guys do Bellflower Rio Hondo Prep at all?
No, but that's a sexy game.
Oh, Fredo Robledo didn't even do. That's arguably the best game in your area this week. Arguably, that's without even knowing what your other games are. What's the biggest game?
Monrovia Baldwin Park was our game of the week.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a double local. That's that goes without saying. But I'm pretty sure Bellflower's at Rio Hondo Prep this week. That's Keith Miller. They're 4-0, like the whole thing, man.
Yeah, quality test coming on Friday
for both programs. I mean, I would give
Keith
Miller.
I don't think Rio Hondo Prep's
I'm
getting.
probably gonna get a text here in about 2 seconds. Coach Miller, he's great, but it's like I think being honest, I think I'd give the edge to Rio Hondo Prep. Just been there, done that, won CAF championships, culture, tradition. I mean, it's what Bellflower's got going on here in the last 6 weeks. Over at Rio Hondo Prep, it's been going on for years. So
you see what someone said in the chat about Bellflower losing their QB today to the Bylaw 202?
Yeah, I've been seeing that. I haven't looked. I can't quite acknowledge that yet because that would be news to me. I'm not surprised, but that kid got cleared. So here's another example where something kind of goes through, and then there's technology at play that kind of goes, wait a minute. something doesn't add up. And so if it's the same young man that I'm thinking of, again, I don't know. I gotta go look at the portal and look what the name is and all that stuff. But it sounds like if it's the quarterback that I think became eligible, then if it's the same kid, then we might be dealing with the same issues. Oh, this guy's asking about UCLA. Let's talk about that, Aram.
Man, that was just as big a news on Friday night as at least in our spaces, as Corona Centennial upsetting Mater Dei. What can you say? The hire, I understand people questioning the Deshaun Foster hire. I do think that a lot of people, you didn't want to see this guy fail because he's, very likable and he was, a very big time player there, but something had to be done. Now the question is, I mean, at least for everyone, as we spin it forward, is who can they get as head coach, to replace him? And don't ask me, man, because I don't think they have the money to get, to get what people are hoping for at least. So,
Bad, man. He clearly was losing I don't know, man. I think for that to fall apart so fast, clearly he was losing the locker room. And I also think this is pure speculation. To me, Aram, tell me what you think about this take a little bit. In football, there's so many other coaches and so many other egos and alphas in your coaching staff. I think when something's going south, I feel like football locker rooms and coaching staffs might be the easiest to undermine because there's so many other coaches on your staff. And let's say your running back coach or your offensive coordinator or your defensive coordinator doesn't like the way you're doing things as a head coach, and he starts chirping to the players, and then the running backs start talking about the linebackers, and the linebackers say that to the DBs, and the DBs kind of go to the line. Next thing you know, you've got this whirlwind that you can't put a cap on, and it's just kind of spilling over, and you can't put the genie back in the bottle. I don't know, man. I feel like there was some of that going on because maybe Deshaun Foster was just in over his head, and clearly he was.
Yeah, I agree. I think, he was trying to do what, we're seeing a lot of coaches do these days, like Sharon Moore at Michigan or Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame, just kind of manage the game and have some kick-ass coordinators there. So I'm very let down by Sunseri. Speaking of hair, I'm very let down by how he's done this year. I mean, they had Nico come in, and I'm let down by Nico as well. Nico hasn't developed at all. I thought, or people kind of thought too that was Sunseri there and Nico there, in an off season or part of one together, that they could do damage. But there's just nothing to that offense, man. I don't know. It's just the question now becomes: are they even going to win a game this year? They were supposed to win, some of these to start,
Aram, they're
Yes,
going
bro.
down the barrel at an 0-12 season.
Yeah, disgusting, man.
It's.
And I was trying to go to that Penn State game because I've never seen Penn State in person,
Well,
and to me,
they'll just get now. You just go get a cheap ticket. I mean that
Yeah.
you can go get a nice probably a. I heard that UCLA was giving out gift cards with tickets. I don't know if that was just for fun or that. I didn't even see that on social media. I heard from somebody, I'm going to the UCLA game. There's a gift card that came with the tickets.
it sounds right. I mean, they're probably going to give away a free card to every fan that attends. Or I saw someone on Instagram say UCLA football, like buy one ticket, get 10,000 free.
Yeah. It's
so-
ugly, man, and obviously now all these athletes, if I'm not mistaken, they have 30 days to jump in the portal. The window opens for 30 days, if I'm not mistaken. So
they have a lot of decommits too in recent days. Some of the guys, high school guys that have committed to them have decommitted. I would love to see them get the Anton Lynn from USC, have him come back. The D coordinator at USC, have him come back.
Oh, geez, that just took a huge hit. Sorry.
Bro, you're ahead of me, man. My YouTube TV is lagging your whatever you're watching. I see him scrambling.
Coming back.
Oh, yes, he got robbed.
It's coming
And that's Gilman, who got floored by Ashton Ginty earlier in the game. And yeah, TK Nico should have stayed at Tennessee. He really should have, dude, because look at Tennessee this year now. Joey Aguilar might be a better QB. You know, Tennessee was a missed chippy, 40-something yards away from beating Georgia this weekend and sending themselves to like 4-0 and, on their way. They look really good, Tennessee. I mean, I kind of wonder, though, if their offense is better with Joey Aguilar. That was the UCLA kid that transferred to Tennessee when Nico transferred to UCLA. I kind of wonder if he's the better guy than,
Steve
Joey
Ramirez
Aguilar.
is saying that he'll take you with him to a UCLA game for that. Hey man, you could go with me. It sounds like Steve Ramirez is basically saying, if you want to go to this Penn State game, come with me. And he's saying I have a lot K pass, so parking, ticket. Dude, you might have to, hang out with Stevie, man. Go watch all the Nittany Lions.
No, I appreciate that. Our guy Brock, was always when the subject of tickets come up, he always does the whole flex, like, yeah, I got a guy that has a suite, and he can get us a suite. He's one of those guys, or he can get us a box down on the field for baseball and all that, but it never pans out.
No.
And this one was like, yeah, you get us a suite. Oh, there's Brock. He's here. You can get us a suite, but we can't eat. Yeah, dude, that's the problem with the roll. I don't mind paying my way anywhere and paying for a top ticket if I'm going to go show up for a game. But the thing is the Rose Bowl, there's no kind of VIP seating, man, that I know of. It's either you're in those half bench things, or you're just in the benches. So I don't know, man. It would be dope to see Penn State in person just once.
I've seen Penn State in person.
Yeah, our guy, Broken Moss Kid, I know who that is, Mooney. That's got to be you. Nobody else would be claiming Moss on here. Either that or it's not T-Bone. Saying UCLA could have had a Mexican-American QB and half filled the stadium just on that with Joey Aguilar. I mean, at some point, are you going to say, you know what? We've seen Joey Aguilar. These are coaches. They should know ahead of time. We've seen Joey Aguilar. We've seen Nico. Joey Aguilar's the better guy. Sorry, Nico, we don't want you. We want Joey Aguilar because now that I'm putting two and two together, I bet you UCLA's offense will be better this year with Joey Aguilar.
Yeah, and I was going to say, obviously, let's call it what it is. It's a little low-hanging fruit to take a guy with a better team and say that he'd be throwing the ball better for the Bruins. They're pretty bad. I would say, Ei Maleva is, the guys. I would like to try and give this kid the benefit of the doubt and say that he's better than how he's playing, but there's a lot wrong with that UCLA team, man. The defense can't get off the field. There's a lot, and I do think a lot of it has to do with coaching, because they should be able. Aram, come on, you're telling me that UCLA by default doesn't have enough talent to compete with New Mexico? It's way more than that. There is bad coaching and infrastructure going on to lose 35-10 at home to New Mexico.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I don't want to blame the kid, but I will say this, and I said this on Sports Central over the weekend, and then we'll move on. We are starting to see Nico. It might be the first real athlete at the college level being scrutinized for his play because of what he's getting paid.
Yeah, or because of what he left at Tennessee.
Okay, well, I'm saying even
DJ Lagway's feeling the heat this year. They're calling DJ Lagway the DJ Ukulele.
Okay, so there's other guys feeling the heat too, is what you're saying.
Kind of wondering, dude, if someone's gonna, maybe we should do it here on this show, not to poke fun at someone that's a really good kid, because DJU is a really, really good kid, and he's got a bright future. That guy. In football or out of it doesn't matter. But if there's going to develop to be a DJ Ukulele award every year, right now Nico and DJ, the most disappointing guy.
You're talking about the kid from Bosco?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm more so just saying.
Cade Klubnik is the finalist for that award right now.
And I just want to be clear. And you're talking about kids that are I'm talking specifically about amateurism no longer being amateurism, in like out in public. Like
Right.
we've always known these kids are getting paid, but now it's like legal basically. Let's just call it what it is. So I'm saying coverage and slamming, you never used to really, remember that, I'm a man, I'm 40, right? Like I hate the rant is crazy, but I actually agreed with the coach. No, you know what I mean? Like, blame me, I'm the coach. The kid goes to class, he's doing the right things, and he's a kid still. This is college. That's being thrown out the window now with NIL. And I think Nico might be one of the first big profile recruits that is getting that everyone knows he's $2 million in NIL, and he's being scrutinized for his play, and it's being pointed out you aren't living up to the dollar amount. That I think we're seeing that for the first time at a high level in college.
Yeah, of course, because the pay for play thing is out there in the open now, and
now it's like they're free. That's like it's
right.
It's free game.
And that's fine. They should get that scrutiny. Arch Manning, people are talking a ton of crap about Arch Manning too. Look, there's, like I said, DJ Lagway, Cade Klubnik, Arch Manning, and Nico Amalevea. They're horribly disappointing this year, man. And these are guys that are making some cash. So yeah, you want to treat this like a business and say all that, then they're going to get scrutinized just like they are pros. And I don't have any problem with that. And I wouldn't call them kids either. I mean, they're adults now.
Yeah, I mean, I still think that. I mean, I don't know if the money makes them an adult, but it certainly gives them. It gives more people an
opportunity. Well, their age does. They're 20 years old,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get that. It's still a young person, but I understand.
Yeah, to us, they're kids. God, would I pay to be 20 again?
Oh gosh, okay. Well, we're not going, there's no FATTAL After Dark, man. There's no FATTAL After Dark. Relax. Okay, Bylaw 202. I got 2 games. That's it. 2 games to throw at you, and then we'll probably start wrapping it up here.
Okay.
And they're actually really good games. One's Thursday night, Sierra Canyon and Orange Lutheran. It's at Orange Coast College, which is basically it's a home game for Orange Lutheran. Sierra Canyon 4-0, Orange Lutheran 3-1. Their only losses to out-of-state Basha and Arizona, which they were down 24-0, came back and made it 24-24, and then lost, I believe, 30 or 31-24. Point is this is a huge juggernaut game on a Thursday night. I think this will be this will be Sierra Canyon's biggest test, and it might even be Orange Lutheran's biggest test too thus far. So, man, who do you see winning that game, and what will that win mean for each team?
Well, there's no question Sierra Canyon is who I see winning the game. The question is, can they go out there and make the statement that they need to against the Trinity League team? We kind of talked about this already with other teams as well as them, that we're looking at this as the measuring stick, as the barometer. How do if they can floor Orange Lutheran, how much do they floor them by comparatively to St. John Bosco and Mater Dei? So I'm making Sierra Canyon, Tarek, like a 17-point favorite. That should tell you how I'm feeling on the game. I would imagine you feel the same.
James Brock says he thinks Sierra Canyon's going to win by 35.
Yeah, maybe.
Jeez, I don't know. I don't know. I'll say I'm thinking more like Sierra Canyon by I like 17. I'm thinking more like a couple touchdowns. I don't know if it'll be that. I don't know if it'll be that crazy. I'm getting people.
Who wants to take it out there? Who wants to take Orange Lutheran plus 17? I don't see. I want to see somebody.
Nobody. James Brock goes. Fred jinxed the Dodgers. Damn it! So they must be trailing now.
By the way, I really do think, Tarek, since I brought up high school and point spreads, I really do think a day and age is coming. There is on offshore sports books, some of them betting on high school football. Okay, premier games,
big teams play.
Yeah, right. I think there's going to be a day coming where you can find a host website, host financial site, maybe a Kalshi, a Robinhood, that type thing, where Aram can make a market. I can put out there the proposition of, Sierra Canyon minus 17 against Orange Lutheran, and people can bet against me, sort of like a betting exchange. I do think that day is coming. where, it's just two fans betting against each other.
Huh.
One says, okay, here's the line I'm offering. Anybody want it? And, people can come in and lay it or take it. That's just my prediction for the future. All right, sorry. That has nothing to do with anything. By the way, bro, I watched Mission Viejo and Lincoln on YouTube. The 20, 30-minute highlight film.
Okay.
Mission Viejo's nice, dude. The QB's nice.
Oh, yeah.
But
he's the real deal. We all know that.
Yeah, but they're not. Sorry, I know we talked about this like on Friday night. They're not a legit D1 contender, dude. I just don't see it.
Yeah,
They're
getting the high rank right now because they have wins over Folsom, Big, and over Lincoln. You can only judge a team for what they're putting, what they've put together so far in the season. But yeah, you might be right. They might be a slight notch below. But are the big juggernauts not quite as good this year? So
yes.
is there more susceptible? Are the Boscos and the Mater Deis, clearly Mater Dei, more susceptible to what happened? Is what happened on Friday night going to happen a couple more times this year between School X and Mater Dei or School Y?
Probably.
Yeah. I hope it does. It'd be really fun. And then the other game I just wanted to throw at you. I'm reading the room a little. Our numbers are dropping a little. And we're getting into 9:30. Hey man, it's actually a really, really big one. Really, really big one. We want to guess what it is? Think as big as you can get.
Bishop Gorman and Mater Dei.
Man, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. I pay attention.
I'll tell you this one. I think Gorman wins. I don't
understand why everyone's saying that, but I haven't seen him.
Something about Gorman this year. I just think there's even more of an aspect that there's blood in the water. I don't know if you want to take any of this and apply it to the game. They beat Kahuku 38-0. Mater Dei beat Kahuku 21-18 and was only up at halftime 8-7. So, look, I know that's not always the end-all be-all, but it is high school football, and you can certainly add weight to it from those scores. But Gorman 38-0 over Kahuku, Mater Dei over Kahuku 21-18.
Yeah, guys who I trust have seen both. We're all saying, Bishop Gorman's going to win that game, which is mind-blowing to me. Mater Dei just had its 21-game winning streak stopped. They were the number one team in the country. And now you're going to tell me they're going to lose back-to-back games? That's crazy.
Well, they're going to go on the road, and you just never know what's going on, man. Maybe there's some finger-pointing going on in the locker room.
Or they wake up, or they get a reality check and a gut check.
Yeah, they take that third quarter film and go, hey, this is how we need to play, and then that's what they do. So they'll be here's what's always interesting, in my opinion, after an upsetting loss, and stick with me on this. The opening quarter or the first 5 minutes of a half, or kind of, look, Mater Dei is going to be fired up. You're right. They had a bad loss against Centennial. But let's say that first quarter they go down 14-0. What happens then? That's a program that hasn't faced adversity. They just haven't faced adversity in so long,
Right.
To this level. Losing to St. John Bosco, that's completely fine. Remember, guys out there, they literally have not lost to anybody else in the world in the last 10 years other than St. John Bosco. And finally on Friday, they lost to Centennial. So in my opinion, if they come out on the road in Vegas and something doesn't go right early in Vegas and Gorman takes an early lead, I just wonder if they might, I don't know about fold, but I don't know. Maybe they just.
Our guy Brock alluding to it. Don't turn the ball over 8 times, and they might be fine. So there you have it. I expect a cleaner performance.
So you think Mater Dei is going to win?
I just haven't seen Bishop Gorman, so I don't know. But yeah, I'll pick Mater Dei. I make that game a pick 'em, and I'll lean with Mater Dei. Boy, that would be really fun, man. Just find any excuse to go to Vegas, dude.
You should go.
You see, you just have these things, Tarek, man, that just tell you why. And I've always tried to lure you to live there, and I don't even live there myself, but I should be there too. Just look at it. You just have Bud Canello there on Saturday night. You have Raiders tonight. and then you're going to have Bishop Gorman Mater Dei on Friday, and that's against the backdrop of all the regular Vegas stuff you can do, dude. And you have undefeated UNLV.
You're looking at it through the lens of a single guy that loves sports and loves to gamble. I mean,
you with a wife and kid, I would not move there. Just because I don't know where Isla's going to go to school. The schools suck there.
Yeah, it's like that. It doesn't. I got a 2-year-old. I got one on the way. It's
that's true.
It ain't gonna happen. But yeah, I got Gorman. I got Gorman, and I think they're gonna. I think we're gonna see Mater Dei lose 2 in a row. Right here, 2013. Last time Mater Dei lost back-to-back games. Whew. So thank you.
Yeah.
Aram, I think we're gonna start to wind down. There's been some subscribers, so thank you for people that have subscribed. We're on our road to 1,000. We're up to 870. So thank you for those who are watching. Thanks to the chat. Why not let people enjoy the last 8 minutes of this Monday Night Football game? It's still somewhat of a game. I mean, this game's not over. The Raiders have the ball. They're driving 8 minutes to go, and they're down. I'm bad at math. Are they down 11? I think they're down 11.
NFL games have turned into high school games, Tarek.
Why do you say that?
Well, because of these crazy comebacks that have happened. You can't turn your back on them, man.
I love Pete Carroll, man. That's like, I grew up, like those SC teams, Pete Carroll at the helm. That's who I grew up with. I love that energy, man. I love that having fun kind of. And that's another thing that's so bad about the whole Foster thing, Deshaun Foster. The guy turned off practice to the media and was kind of a curmudgeon through it. It's like, dude, you don't have to be like that to win games. My God, dude, at least loosen up. If you're gonna lose games, at least let the boys have a little fun, man. I don't know. There's something about it just didn't. It's just there's certain knobs I think he turned and twisted, thinking it would turn it around, and he was just twisting and turning and pressing all the wrong buttons. So
right.
Go ahead, man. Who are you texting, dude? Just lay it on us, man.
Freddie, I think, is drunk texting us, and he texted. Did you see that text? He's talking about some girl at the Dodger game with a big head. That wasn't meant for you, dude.
I don't know. My guess is he thinks he's texting a different chat.
Yeah, he did, and he admitted it. Also, the money man texts me about he will take 30 grand on Sierra Canyon minus 17. The money man, Brett Stay, man. Love him or hate him, dude. The guy's entertainment, man.
No, he is. I think
he got him in it, Tarek.
He's an entertaining guy. I think he knows it, and that might be the problem.
Right. But he's a fun guy to hang out with, and I don't make any bones about that. Gamblers are flamboyant and they're fun, and it's you just have a great time with them. So
no, listen.
I don't agree with some of the things he does, but the guy's certainly.
Look, I will say this. I get along great with you. You've become in the last 10 years being a professional in the profession of media, you have without question been turned into one of my closest friends, and you love to gamble. Okay, then I have my other buddy Jack Paulin, who has become a dear friend, and he gambles. So look, man, you're I get along with these people, you know what I mean,
but let's qualify this, okay? Jack, the money man, Aram, 3 different kinds of gamblers. I'm not saying anyone's better or worse than the other, but I'm for lack of a better term, a pussy, and I've been beating myself up about it the whole weekend because I did not bet as heavy as I should have, and everything I hit, and I'm like, Aram, why are you not swinging? So I don't knock on wood. I don't go broke. I don't bet the house on things. I underbet, I bet $100 or $200 when I should be betting $5 or $1,000. And I'm talking to myself why don't you bet more, Aram? And of course when the picks go bad, I'm gonna be like, thank God I don't bet more. But yeah, I'm not, meanwhile the money man, he puts a couple hundred, few $100,000 on a game. Now granted, a few $100,000 to him may be $300-$500 to me or you, but still, there's levels, and hopefully people can all keep it.
I think that's the point. I think you're not supposed to gamble, if you do at all, beyond your level.
Yeah. And I've seen a lot of people, dude, wreck their lives.
Oh, absolutely,
betting.
man. No, that's where, look, and let's be honest, what you just said right there, that's the stigma in the whole thing, is that it could do that to people. So anybody out there, 1-800-GAMBLER, give them a call.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's a serious thing. Aram, I think we'll call it, man. Good show. We had Coach Matt Logan on. That was fantastic. It was fun to chop it up with him. I think he enjoyed, you had some good questions for him. I think he didn't shy away from him at all. I like that he had admitted that he tried to get swooned by Trinity League coaches or programs. I think that's cool. He talked about Mater Dei. You asked him about players playing for Mater Dei in his backyard. And look, man, that's a guy that's been doing it so long and has been winning for so long. I believe he's due for his 300th career win, which is very, very rare and hard to do. So I think that comes early October. So Thank you to Matt Logan for coming on. Good luck to the Huskies the rest of the way. Aram, any final words before I bump your little whatever. I mean, it's really an intro, but I guess it's an outro too. So I'll bump your little outro, send you on your way, give some closing thoughts. And
yeah, my final words is that just like a little self-admission that I'm like beyond sick with football fever this season. And I thought last year was bad, like Tarek, like I totally escaped into the college football season last year, partly because of a big future bet that I had on Ohio State. And like, I'm just like disgustingly sick with it. All I want to do is talk like football, mostly college, but a lot of high school and a lot of pro as well. And like, I'm just totally emotionally wrapped up in it. And literally every second of my day is like, if I'm working at Fox, then it's, I'm doing, a lot of football stuff, of course, there, but I'm watching podcasts in the background or all the sports shows, including the ones that we show at Fox, which is part of my job. But and then, when I'm off, I'm watching YouTube and the college football specialty podcasts or old high school games from the previous week. And it's weird, man. Like I don't know. I just totally have escaped into it. And last week, it was a phenomenal refuge for things that happen in this country that, I know we won't get into, but, it's like my escape, man. Like, I don't have to deal with all the other stuff, just pay my bills and just focus on football. That's it.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. And thanks for sharing your heart. I think, look, man, I don't think not to get sentimental, but life is hard. Things can be challenging. And then you get things in the news, whether what you agree with or not, doesn't make them less hard. There are things you could have been, and I think this is fair to say, you could be someone that is Charlie Kirk happens, right? And then you could be someone that's really, really enraged with anyone that supports him, or you could be someone that's enraged that because he got shot. See what I'm saying? Like both, it doesn't matter which side of it you fall on. Both of those parties that I just mentioned are still troubled by it, right? And so, yeah, man, it's good to have high school football and the Huskies beat Mater Dei and talk about that. And, oh, man, look at this controversial catch, And we got 2 Monday night games. Look, I hate to say it, but Deshaun Foster gets fired. All those things, though serious for that man, though his payout was $6 million and some change, he's going to be fine. Point is it's all sports. It's not that serious. And so it is nice to get an escape, man. So, if I understood your message correctly, I think it's good that you're diving into more football than anything else. We all have coping mechanisms, whatever the case may be, and it sounds like for you, you're digging yourself deeper into some football. I don't think there's a whole lot wrong with that, man. So there's a lot of great storylines. It's early in the season, and I think everyone's kind of licking their chops a little with high school football after the Huskies beat Mater Dei, because now we want to see if it'll happen again. Everyone wants to see someone different win the Division I championship, and this could be the year. Maybe it's Sierra Canyon. Maybe it's Orange Lutheran. We don't know. Maybe is it Mission Viejo? Is it Santa Margarita? We don't know. So it'll be fun to watch unfold. But Aram, I'm gonna let you go, brother. Thank you for sharing, and we will see you in Spaces on Friday night, everybody, around 10 o'clock. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Aram, I'm going to send you on your way here, brother. Have a great night.
Tarek, bro, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
Well, there he goes. Play a little music as I send you guys on your way. Guys, thanks for watching. We had Matt Logan on. That was fun. We'll have a guest on next week. We're generally trying to get guests on every week, and sometimes we don't. It just depends on what's going on. But if we can get one on and it's of interest, I think, hey, you know, Centennial beat Mater Dei. We got the coach on a couple days later. That's pretty cool. And he was more than welcome to come on and spend time with us. I mean, he was probably on for a good 25, 30 minutes. So another successful show. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Hey, share the channel. Tell people to come join if they like high school football. We're talking about fun stuff. We always got Monday Night Football to talk about. And yeah, thank you to Aram, as always, saddling up my trusted partner in all this. I really appreciate him for all the support he's given me and to be my co-host in this. So that's another edition of FATTAL Factor. Only episode 6, guys, and we're almost close to 900 subscribers on a YouTube channel. Thousands of hours watched on the channel. We've broken some big news on the channel. Things are looking up, man. This is really, really exciting. So that's all because of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's it, guys. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your week. Be safe out there. And just remember, take the job seriously, but don't take yourself